అదే ఆర్టీవీ యాప్ వార్తల్ని క్షణాల్లో చదివే అవకాశం ఉంటుంది. ఒక న్యూస్ పేపర్, ఒక టెలివిజన్ ఛానల్ మీ చేతుల్లో ఎప్పుడూ ఉంటాయి.
హాయ్ హలో, వెల్కమ్ టు RTV. నేను మీ లాలిత్య. ఇప్పుడున్న ప్రెజెంట్ సిచ్యువేషన్స్లో పేరెంట్స్ వాళ్ళ పిల్లలకి ఇవ్వగలిగిన ఏకైక ఆస్తి అంటూ ఉంటే క్వాలిటీ ఎడ్యుకేషన్. బట్ ఇప్పుడున్న మార్కెట్ చూస్తే నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్స్ అనేవి వచ్చేస్తున్నాయి, మార్కెట్లోకి ఇవాల్వ్ అవుతున్నాయి. బట్ ప్రాపర్ విజన్తో మార్కెట్లోకి రావట్లేదు. దానివల్ల ఏంటంటే పేరెంట్స్లో కూడా ఒక సార్ట్ ఆఫ్ కన్ఫ్యూజన్ అనేది వస్తుంది. ఇందులో జాయిన్ చేస్తే మా పిల్లల కెరియర్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది అని ఇవన్నీ ఆలోచిస్తూ ఉంటారు. సో అలాంటి వాటికి ఫుల్ స్టాప్ పెట్టడానికి నేను ఒక ప్లేస్కి వచ్చేసాను. అదే ఎక్సలెన్సియా జూనియర్ కాలేజ్ అండ్ CBSE స్కూల్స్. ఇప్పుడు మనం క్యాంపస్ లోపలికి వెళ్ళి అసలు క్యాంపస్ ఎలా ఉందో అంతా చూసి అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం డైరెక్టర్ అండ్ ఫౌండర్తో కూడా మనం కమ్యూనికేట్ చేసి అసలు ఇక్కడున్న స్పెషాలిటీస్ ఏంటి, దీనికి ఎందుకు ఇన్ని ఇయర్స్ నుంచి ఇంత రెప్యుటేషన్ అనేది డౌన్ అవ్వకుండా వస్తుందనే విషయాలని తెలుసుకునే ప్రయత్నం చేద్దాం. లెట్స్ గో. ఇప్పుడు మనం ఎక్సలెన్షియా స్కూల్స్ అండ్ కాలేజెస్ డైరెక్టర్ అండ్ ఫౌండర్ వెంకట్ మురికి గారిని కలిసి అసలు ఈ ఎక్సలెన్షియా గ్రూప్కి ఇంత ఫేమ్ అండ్ నేమ్ ఎందుకు 10 years నుంచి కంటిన్యూ అవుతుంది అనేది అడిగి తెలుసుకుందాం. I just want to ask you a very important question. Nowadays there are number of colleges mushrooming up in the whatever it is, but in the market mainly what is the advice that you give for those people, because you are already 30 years of experience in this 30 decades, like 3 decades of experience in this thing. So what's your advice to them, new management who are emerging up newly?
Your question is apt for the present situation, ma'am, right? See, we can see that, I can see that in last few years on, right? There's so many junior colleges coming up, right? But the point is, my advice, if you ask me the advice which I wish to give, see, anyone can really come up with schools and colleges. That is very important, because India needs good schools, good colleges, and a great education system. In fact, right? Everyone should take initiative for that. But the alarming thing and very disturbing thing these days, which I could observe, especially in Hyderabad, is people are opening schools or colleges, majorly junior colleges, without any kind of purpose, without any passion. See, if you ask a question, why are you coming up with the junior colleges? They have no answer. They have no answer. Just it is driven by the fast growth, or maybe it's driven by comparison. So that college has come up, so let me also open a college. I want to grow overnight. These kind of things will not work. And the people who are coming up with this kind of new colleges should think on this aspect very seriously, because when one has to open up with the junior colleges, the purpose has to be clear. What are the gaps in the existing system? What are the gaps? And when you are a management, you are opening a school or college, especially junior college, how are you going to address the problems which are being faced by the children and the parents? That should be the clear agenda. The gaps are there, no doubt. And how are you going to address those gaps? Why? So any management should have a clear-cut goal about this kind of vision. Secondly, when you're opening a junior college, it's very important you're giving commitment to hundreds of students and parents and good number of staff, right? So you should be well versed with not only the vision, with also the financial aspects. Given the competition, if you don't create a difference, parents and children will not look at you, right? So how are you going to protect your employees? They trusted you, right? You just can't open a junior college just because to grow overnight.
Correct.
And with not having any clarity. And then, you work for 1 or 2 years, and then if you feel the pressure, competition, you don't have a proper vision, you're not ready to sacrifice, and then you shut down your college. Then what? This is not the way. This is not the purpose. This is not the way. One has to come to the market to open the colleges, especially. So I'm very serious, and this is a serious thing. Every investor, every management who wants to open a junior college, you should have a clear vision. What changes you're going to make, and what sacrifices can you make? You have to make sacrifices in your personal life, right? In your professional stance you have to make, because you may be having a very good salary in some other organization, and you have to forego that salary, and you have to work without expectations, any financial expectations, and then what kind of growth you are going to give to the employees who trusted you. Correct. And what is your financial background? You should not open the college just to become a director, have a fancy room or fancy name, and not like that. This is very alarming, and I think this is a serious aspect. Every investor has to think about it, right? This is very, I think this is how people without vision, without knowing how we are going to fix the problems, what transformation you're going to bring to the children in these 2 years, that must be clear. Yes. Otherwise, I think you should not start. There must be no any kind of cheating at all, right? You have to stand in the market for 10, 20, 30 years. So that is the plan you should come out. And parents especially also should be extremely vigilant, and please do the background check about the financial aspects. Why are they opening the junior colleges? How are they going to sustain? Right? In the given market, across India, the junior college or 11th and 12th market is going for a big shift, big change, I should say. So parents have to be very clear about why are you choosing a junior college, new or old, especially new colleges. New colleges. Just don't go by what they are saying. You should do a lot of background check about the sustainability of that, colleges, because the competition is extremely huge today, last few years onwards, and this competition is going to be there for many years to come. Correct. Right? So we have seen many colleges the last, I can see in 6-7 years, there are many colleges which have come up, they have closed abruptly. And there are not less than 15 to 20 colleges are there in Hyderabad last 3 years. And next 3-4 years, definitely 20-30 colleges are going to close. That is for sure. So this is my advice for all the investors and the school managements or college managements who wants to really come up with junior colleges. Yes, ma'am.
And one more thing, as you said, there is a lot of competition in this world. So IIT, JEE, mains, parents kuda chala pressure, పిల్లలు ranks రావాలి అది అని pressure చేస్తున్నారు. So what are the programs that are evolved in Excellencia, particularly Excellencia, to maintain the standards?
See, madam, it is not about just Excellencia. This is not something I don't wish to, promote Excellencia in this media. But my point here is now, I can just reframe the question this way. What kind of education must be imparted in the junior college segment? How should be the programs be designed? These are important in any junior college. So parents should know that. Right? Parents should interact with the heads, with the principals, center heads, teachers, managements also, right? So what kind of programs? It's not about Excellencia, it's about any junior college. The very first thing is, see, when the children are coming to our colleges, all children come from different schools, different backgrounds, different levels of hardworking nature or commitments or the need or the support or guidance. Many children are underguided, in fact. Right, in the school, this kind of preparation is not at all seen. And even, some schools will talk about foundation, but foundation is not the way they are giving the foundation. So obviously children come from various backgrounds, and people, teachers, and especially parents think that 10th tak jo bhi hai, from 11th onwards, intermediate onwards, my child has to be very serious on academics. That is absolutely wrong. A child has to be, a parent has to be serious in any grade. Any grade. If the child is in grade 1, 2, 3, 4 also, they should be serious. Because what is important is the kind of skills the child has to learn from primary, middle, high school and junior college is important. The skills are important. The skills cannot be, a child cannot learn just like that. Not in a span of 1 or 2 years. That is the first wrong notion. Right? Because for the children from the school to college level, at every step, the schools or colleges or teachers, management should work on one important parameter. how are we improving the confidence in the child? Confidence. If the child is not performing for any reason, we should not find fault with the child. No teacher should do, no school should do, no college, junior college should do that. It's not the mistake of the child. We firmly believe this in Excellencia. And as a teacher, as a parent, I strongly believe this. If a child is not performing, it is a mistake somewhere in the process. It may be the academic program or schedule, follow-up or teachers. There are so many factors. Child is never wrong. This must go very inside, into every parent and teacher's heart, I should say. Right. So what these junior college schools has to do is, these schools and junior colleges especially have to help the children to not just to develop the interest in the subject, not just to understand the subject, how to apply the subject is important. This application is important. When the children are prepared for these competitive examinations, how fast they are able to solve the question is important, right? And naturally, the children will undergo a lot of stress during this preparation. When they are going to undergoing a lot of stress now, we should have all kind of methods in the class, in the school or college, where how to handle this stress, how to diffuse this stress and support the child. Instead of doing all this, the very easiest thing what teachers does is blaming the child. I put time, I help them twice, thrice, but the child is not performing, so obviously he cannot get into this college or this exam, this exam, all that. They are extremely happy and comfortable in blaming the child. This system should go off in the junior college or school or wherever the child is. That is important. Secondly, when junior college has to strive and have the methods or systems to improve the performance of every child, in fact. The child is coming from different backgrounds, different schools, different subject levels. So, one thing will not suit all. One thing will never suit all. So, we should have a program, the children may be of lower pace or medium pace or higher pace. So, every child has to perform week to week and month to month. So, parents should always question, my child is this at this stage. In a scale of 1 to 10, let's say my child is at number 3. As a parent, I should ask now, my child is at number 3. Now, what is the system you have to improve from 3 to 5? For example, if my child is at 7, 7 to 8, how much? If my child is at 8, 8 to 9 or 10, what systems you have? How are you going to help my child? Because in every junior college, one system is always prevalent. You know what is that? They only look at the top children.
Correct.
Which is very blunder it is. If my child is not in the top 5%, as a parent, it is an agony for me, right? I am losing my child for in a career forever. Why this college management is not thinking about the rest of 45 children in the class on other than 5 children? That is wrong. 5 children are important, but 45 children are equally important, more important I should say. If they are not performing, or support should be more. In fact, if a patient is in ICU and a general ward, what support do you give? You give more support to ICU patient or normal patient? ICU, right? But here in Hyderabad and our Telugu States, it's reverse. I think this system should go. Parents should question this. Even in Excellencia also they should question this. If a child, you are coming to admission for Excellencia other colleges, this is what the first question you have to ask. Because if child is given right platform, right support for these 2 years, 3 years, 4 years in school and all, every child can perform. That is what we are driving Excellencia in the last 10 years. Every child can perform. If every child can perform, then what is that you are doing about it? This should happen. So, the management of colleges, teachers should have introspection about this, and always parents have to question. Parents have to question the management, parents have to question the teachers, principals, everyone. If this questioning is not there, ultimately the so-called 95% children will suffer. And today's you see the kind of young generation what we have in India and versus the employability, it is very, very bad. We all know why this is happening, because parents are not questioning. What skills are needed is not given. Right. Otherwise, why should not there be change? So we are driving this vision. Every child can perform. So what Excellencia can do? So we are coming up with kind of lot of changes even this year also, because the transformation we started 10 years back. And it is not say 10 years, it keep on goes now. Because the child mentality is changing, psychology is changing, parent requirement is changing, market is changing, demand is changing, right? Technology is changing. So obviously we should pace up very fast. So this year onwards we have made a point that yes, now how do we reach every child more than what we have been doing all these 10 years. After 10 years now we have just celebrated our 10th anniversary. Now, so we want to do more. 10th anniversary is not just what we have done in the last 10 years. How are we geared up to handle these kids and to do justice as much as possible to every child. In this process, parent is important, teacher is important. And management who are there are definitely important. They should have this kind of vision, right? So we are driving this way, dear, everyone. In fact, this is important. Every child has to perform month to month, year to year, such that no matter they don't get into IIT, JEE or NEET or any other top universities, but at least they will know how to fall and how to get up after the fall, and they will handle the real time situation when they are going for engineering and beyond. So those skills are not important at all. Right? So these things are important, and one more thing I would like to add is, we are entirely focusing only on coaching. But there are other skills are important. When a child is going to engineering college or professional colleges or abroad or other top colleges or any other engineering college, what skills are missing? The skills which are missing at the jobs or professional colleges is, the child is not having proper clarity about his vision. What he wants is missing out. Responsibility of teachers and parents is here. We should help the child to discover in the entire process what exactly, where does he fit. Correct. This is the role of teachers and parents. Child will not discover, we should help him. That is missing out. Child doesn't have patience. Again, we blame the child saying that you don't have patience, develop patience. But how do we develop patience? That we should explain them and help them with hand holding. How do we develop the patience? And textbook reading is important. Journal reading is important. When they are going for higher studies, they have to read a lot of big manuals they have to read. And they have to adapt to the changes very fast. The technology is changing, culture is changing. The child's psychology is changing. When he is going to engineering colleges or other colleges, he can see a group of children with a different mindset. We should now groom the child so that he should be able to, handle every other friend. And how to fast adapt this. And communication, how do you, without fear, how do you communicate? Communication is not just language. It is about with boldness, you have to tell what is you have in your mind. Correct. So, school, colleges has to give this kind of platform also. It is not just about, grades and marks in the 11th and 12th or in this. These are important, no doubt. But without these skills, companies will not take you. You can't grow. Correct. And if you don't help the youngsters to grow, then where is the nation then? Nation is, developed or damaged in the classroom or out of the classroom, right? So every college and junior college and school also should focus on the skills what they need after passing out from the school or junior college. So in Excellencia, we do a lot of things like that, We give platform for the children to participate in MUN, an ideation challenge, wherein using technology, what kind of problem can you solve? Okay. We have done this last year. I am talking about junior college. That's good, yeah. And health is extremely important. So we make them to participate in marathons. In Excellencia, we have marathons every year. Right? It is to bring awareness. Right? And especially, we have child psychologists. Last 4 years onwards. Every school, college should have child psychologists, because we are learning about the children mindset in the last couple of years only. So those are the right people who can guide them, because these young children needs to vent out their emotions out. They don't vent out to the parents, not teachers, because parents and teachers are already in 10 years, old mindset. The children are in different mindset. So they don't have patience to explain the teachers and parents to understand them. That's the reason they want to open up. So the emotional connect is missing out. That is the biggest challenge, now teachers, parents and children are facing. Emotional connection is missing. Once that is missing, child will not open up, and he will go to somebody else. Wrong person maybe, wrong system maybe, anything wrong can happen. So child psychology is important. Parent and teachers have to adapt to understand the child first, and we should be moving in their pace also. Stop putting them behind or saying that you're wrong, my father that, I was grown like that, you're not like that, you're not working hard, you're late night. All this, no. This is a generation has changed, that's it. Yeah, child is doing a lot of mistakes, let us correct them with a lot of openness. You are getting distracted. You are getting at, maybe online games, maybe some kind of those sites which a child should not see that. So all that we should be open to discuss this, and this system should happen in the schools and colleges also. So when you're going for any junior college for admission, you should also ask your the school, college management or teachers, principals, whoever it is, how are we helping us to have the emotional connect? That system must be there, not just 15 years of experience, 20 years of experience. That is ridiculous. These 15, 20 years of experience teachers are not able to connect with the children these days because they become too old. Too old. So experience is not that. Experience is not number of years, dear parents. It is all about how the teacher is able to connect to the child and help him for transformation and help him to realize his priorities or immediate goals. That is experience. Transformation should be made, otherwise that is not experience. We strongly believe in Excellencia this only. We don't look at 15, 20 years of teaching experience. Teaching people will do, not a big deal. After that, what? So parents have to realize all this stuff also.
Thank you so much for your
Thank
time,
you, ma'am.
sir.
Thank you for
Got lot much of information. As a parent, I'm very confident that I can choose for the thing in a right way. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you all.
మరిన్ని వీడియోస్ కోసం ఛానల్ ని సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి. లేటెస్ట్ అప్డేట్స్ కోసం వాట్సాప్ ఛానల్ ని ఫాలో అవ్వండి. ఆ లింక్ డిస్క్రిప్షన్ లో ఉంది.